Let's get to our political panel now. Joining us, both from Adelaide tonight, New South Wales Liberal Senator Holly Hughes and South Australian Independent Senator Rex Patrick. Thank you both for your time. To see Germany distribute military weapons to another nation for the first time since World War II is all you need to know, Rex, about how wrong Vladimir Putin is. Am I right?
Well, Vladimir Putin has invaded and is engaging in aggressive warfare on another country's sovereign soil. That is against international law, and it has to be dealt with. And Jim Molan got it right when he said that the bodies around Ukraine haven't done enough. The sanctions that have been applied applied too late. The Stinger missiles should have already been in the Ukraine. I agree with Jim on all of those fronts.
Yeah, Holly, we're now giving what's called lethal military aid to Ukrainians, and I noticed that the US has stumped up another $360 million as well. It seems as if the West is now, I guess, urging Ukraine to keep fighting Russia, but by the sound of what Jim Molan has said, this will be an inevitable victory to the Russians.
Look, it's a really scary time, Chris, and it's good to see that globally we are seeing countries step up with more and more support for Ukraine. And to see the president there, Zelensky, is just absolutely extraordinary. But also to look at the strength of the Ukrainian men in particular. I know you and I were chatting the other day about that video of the father putting his daughter on the bus and said goodbye. It was just heartbreaking. But when you think of some other recent situations in countries, we've seen men fleeing the countries, leaving their wives and children behind. And it's such a reversal to see the strength of the Ukrainians to stand and defend their country. I think, Jim obviously has so much experience in this area. He unfortunately is probably right. I think the world needs to pay an awful lot of attention to this. Your point to India and the Security Council and their abstention is absolutely disgraceful. Now is not the time to sit on the fence. No. Jim's right when he talks about the failure of the bodies that we set up. The UN is predominantly more worried about what pronouns you've got in your email rather than keeping an eye on these sorts of situations.
Spot on.
To even allow Russia to participate in this in the vote around the Security Council motion. I mean, just ridiculous. But, China is one thing. For India to have removed itself and abstain from that is very, very concerning. And as you said, we haven't even started to get to China. I saw some reports on the weekend that there's been 9 military flights over Taiwan from the Chinese. So this is a very scary time for the world. And quite frankly, we need to step up and make sure that we're showing strength and not hiding behind some woke agenda.
Rex Patrick, what did you make of a social media post I saw today from TV personality Todd Sampson? He linked the Ukrainian president's continued presence in the capital to Scott Morrison's trip to Hawaii during the bushfires. Under photos of both men, he said, one of these things is not like the other. Now, I'm a Todd Sampson fan, but is that fair? Like, leading a country in war as a president is a little bit different to helping states fight fires.
I think there is a level of commonality, however. I think it's really important when a country is in national crisis that the leader is present. We heard Jim just before and yourself talking about the inspiration that Zelensky is giving in the Ukraine. And I'm afraid that in this instance, Scott Morrison was absent and he's left himself open to this sort of criticism.